Welcome all to this video lecture session from ASBP Consulting. Uh, from today, we'll be starting on the CISA preparation, that is Certified Information System Audit Preparation course. Before we move ahead, I'd request all of you to subscribe our channel in YouTube and please like and comment on the video and also share with your friends. So basically, CISA stands for Certified Information System Auditor, and this is the exam which is organized by or conducted by ISACA at the global level, and we have exam centers everywhere around the world. Even in Nepal, Kathmandu, we have the exam centers for same. So if you see the exam pattern for CISA, there are around 150 questions, and all of them are objective questions. So how one is supposed to get the CISA certification? So there are 5 steps on how you get the CISA certification. The first is you have to pass the CISA examination. Then you have to apply for the CISA certification to the ISACA, which is the governing body for CISA. Then you have to adhere with the code of professional ethics, which is a guideline which are given by the ISACA. And you have to dedicatedly increase your continuing professional education. It is similar to CPE, what we have in CA profession. And then you have to also comply with the information system auditing standards. So basically, we have accounting standards, we have auditing standards. Similarly, we have information system related auditing standards, which have to be complied by the CISA certificate holders. If you see the exam pattern of CISA, we have 5 domains, or there are the 5 domains in the study material issued by ISACA as well. So domain 1 is about information system auditing process, which contribute about 21% of the total questions asked in the examination. Then in domain 2, we have governance and management of information technology, which contribute towards 17% of the questions that will be asked in the examination. So these are all approximate percentage. Domain 3 is about information system acquisition, development, and implementation, which contributes towards 12%. So if you see domain 1, 2, and 3 contribute 50%, and domain 4 and 5 contribute 50%. So domain 4 and 5 are comparatively larger topics. Domain 4 is about information system operation and business resilience, and domain 5 is on protection of information assets. So in terms, when we go deep into the domain 1, that is information system auditing process, it is more about the auditing process which we have to implement or which we have to follow while doing the information system audit. So similar to other audits, there are various steps like planning and execution. In the planning, what are the things we need to see while doing information system auditing process are introduction, information system audit standards, guidelines and code of ethics, business processes, types of control, risk-based audit planning, types of audits and assessments. And as a part of execution in the study material, we'll go through audit project management, sampling methodology, audit evidence collection techniques, data analytics, reporting and communication techniques, quality assurance and improvement of audit process. So how we'll plan our study is first we'll go through the basic concept for each topics, and in between we'll have few questions and answer sessions. And apart from that, we'll make a separate video for each domains on the questions or the questions issued by the ISACA, which are the practice questions, and also other questions which are available in public domain. So before we move to the detail on the introduction, there are a few key terminologies which are always confusing. So we should try to understand that. First is on the information system and information technology. Basically, information technology is a part of information system. If you see in the first picture, there is a device which is attached in the finger of a person, from where the data is flowing to the watch, wristwatch, which is basically the digital watch or the smartwatch, you may say. And from there, it is flowing to to the smartphone. From a smartphone, it goes to cloud. From cloud to it comes to the computer, and the computer works as a storage and also process uh, the information or the process the data. Then it goes to uh, the cloud again, and it goes to the uh, doctors. And once the doctor do the analysis of the data, then doctor will give the prescription. It can be the medicine, it can be other diet related things, or various other activities which doctor will suggest. So if you see here, the work done by computer and the cloud basically is what the information technology is all about. But the entire set of process or the entire ecosystem is information system. So when it comes to information technology, this is the technology which process the data based on the input it's received, and also it does the storage. And once it processes the data, it gives output in the form of information. So what information technology is doing here is it is taking the data as input and processing it and giving the information as output. So if you see, information system is the combination of strategic, managerial, and operational activities and related processes. Whereas information technology is a hardware, software, communication, and other facilities. Information system process information. Information system processes involved in gathering, processing, storing, distributing, and using information and its related technologies. Whereas information technology used to input, store, process, transmit, and output data in whatever form. This is basically the simple understanding of the difference between information system and information technology. I hope this is clear for all of you. Then also we try to understand on the difference between policy and procedures. These are the two key terminologies which we often get confused with. So basically, to understand, let's take example. If a school has a policy that there should be fire drill each month, then the procedure for that will be the teachers in hall A will lead students out of door A, and teachers in hall B will lead students out of door B. So basically, what we're trying to understand here is school has a policy that fire drill will happen each month, but when actually the fire drill is happening, the procedure is teacher from hall A will lead all the students from door A, and the other teacher in hall B will lead all the students from door B, and they will come out in the open space for the fire drill. So policies are the high level documents which are normally approved by board of directors. Uh, this is a very important point here. High level documents approved by board of directors. So policies are the rules and regulations that serve as a guiding principle for the organization while making decisions, whereas procedures are the precise steps that are followed while carrying out an organization activity. And policies are not regularly changed. However, it should be reviewed regularly. There can be multiple procedures for each policies. I have from the example which we have discussed, the policies and procedures are pretty much clear. Now we'll move ahead a little bit in the introduction part. So on the first part, we understand on the information system audit. What exactly is the information system audit? It is the formal examination and or testing of information system to determine whether to determine whether information systems are in compliance with laws and regulations, contract, and our industry guidelines. So here we have to understand very clearly that ISACA always put the first priority on the local laws. So if local law does not allow you to use some technology or force you to put some kind of controls, then those are the first things you have to do as an information system auditor. So as an information system auditor, you have to check information systems, which were discussed in the earlier slide, are in compliance with laws, regulations, contracts, and our industry guidelines. Then, information system and related processes should comply with government criteria and related and relevant policies and procedures. So the policies and procedures which are there in the organization, which are in complying with the laws and regulation, and also information system standard issued by information system audit standard issued by ICASA. So those should be complied with. Then the third point, which is also very important point, which is often discussed in information system audit, is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So information system data and information have appropriate levels of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. We'll discuss detail in all these three terminologies later on. So here we have to understand, as an information system auditor, we have to understand that information system data and information should have the appropriate level of confidentiality, that it should not be shared with any other person. Integrity, it should not be available to be be available to be used by unauthorized person or by unauthorized means, and it should be available to the authorized person. That is the availability. Information system operations are being accomplished efficiently and effectiveness targets are met. So now the fourth point is that information system operations. Inside the information system, there will be the operations which are going in the day in and day out. All these information systems should accomplish efficiently and effectively. And those efficient and effective targets are met. So that's about the information system audit. Now we'll try to understand on the information system audit and assurance standards. So similar to auditing standards which you have in CA profession, there are information system audit and assurance standards, which are mandatory requirement for information system auditing professionals to be complied with. So what does it mean to the different set of persons? We try to understand. For information system auditors, it is the minimum level of acceptable performance. So these are the minimum level of performance which has to be performed by the information system auditors, wherein for the management and other interested parties, information system audit and assurance standards are the profession's expectations concerning the work of practitioners. So let's take example from the management point of view. When an information system auditor comes to your organization to audit the information system, then if the management is aware of the information system assurance standard or audit standards, then they will have the expectation from the profession, from the CISA profession, that what kind of work will be done by such persons. Whereas for the person who are holding CISA designation, for them it is the professional performance requirement which has to be complied with. Now we'll try to understand on the framework of the audit and assurance standard, that is information system audit and assurance standard. So framework basically means different sets of documents which are available. So first is the standard, which we have already discussed, which is the mandatory requirement. Then comes the guidelines. Guidelines are the processes or maybe the guidance on how to apply the information system audit and assurance standards. Then there are tools and technologies, which are the examples or the best practices, you may say, which can be used by the information system auditor while doing an information system audit engagement. Now the information system audit and assurance standards are basically categorized into three different categories. One is general, second is performance, and the third is reporting. So general is basically more about the ethics, and the professional code of conduct which has to be followed by the information system auditor. So there are ethics, independence, objectivity, and due care, as well as knowledge, competency, and skills to be followed by any information system auditors. The second is about the performance. Performance will happen when you're basically in the execution, in the ground level. What are the things you are supposed to do? You'll do the supervision, you'll do the scoping, you'll do the planning, you'll do the understand the risk, you'll ascertain materiality, you'll do the research mobilization, supervision and assessment management, audit and assurance evidence you'll collect, and also you exercise your professional judgment and due care. And the last one is on the reporting. Address the various types of reports, means of communication, and what are the information to be communicated and how it has to be communicated. So these are the major three categories of the information system audit and assurance standards. Now let us try to understand on the guidelines. So guidelines, as we discussed, are the guidance on how to comply with the standards. So basically, as an information system auditor, we should do the following three acts or activities or the processes we have to follow. The first is we have to consider guideline on how to implement information system audit and assurance standards. Second being is we have to use professional judgment while applying them to specific audits. There may be the case where it will not be so black and white. So there may be some gray areas. So there will be very thin mark of demarcation between what you have to do. In those cases, you have to apply the professional judgment and apply the guidance accordingly to your specific audits. And also you should be able to justify any departure from the ISACA audit and assurance standard. So in case the guidance or guidelines are not in line with the auditing standard, then you should be able to justify them as well. Now we'll move towards the ISACA Code of Professional Ethics. Let's say there are 7 points which is as a ISACA member and certificate holder. So we have to understand that ISACA member are different and certificate holder are different. Certificate holder, it means the CISA certificate holders. ISACA member can include various courses which are under the ISACA, where you can obtain the membership without even becoming a certified, without becoming a certificate holder or without even writing the examination. So both of them has to support implementation and encourage compliance, standard and procedures. You have to comply with that. Perform their duties with objectivity, due diligence, and professional care. Serve in the interest of stakeholders in a lawful manner while maintaining high standards of conduct and character. Maintain the privacy and confidentiality. So confidentiality of information is very much important. It's very important. It's of the paramount importance when you talk about any information system audit. However, the confidentiality has an exception where we can disclose the information if it is required by legal authority. To maintain competency in the respective fields and argue and agree with to undertake only those activities that are reasonably expect to complete with necessary skills, knowledge, and competence. So here it's very important. You have to maintain the competency, and also you have to reasonably expect that you will complete that with your necessary skill, knowledge, and competence. Then only you take that work. Point number 3, I'll just go back to that. It's also very important that you have to solve in the interest of stakeholders, but in a lawful manner, and also maintaining the high standard code of conduct and character. So here, what it means is the stakeholder for you can be the management of the company, but you should not always solve in the interest of the management. If there is any point which is debatable, and if the management want to hide something, in that case, you have to see and work in a lawful manner, and also you have to maintain high standard of conduct and character. The fifth being, or sixth point is on the inform appropriate parties of the results of the work performed. So once the work is performed, the result has to be communicated to the appropriate parties, normally to the audit committee and board of directors, or if any other person whom as an information system auditor you are reporting, that has to be communicated only after the discussion with the relevant stakeholders. And also you have to support the professional education of other stakeholders. Information system audit function is basically defined by the audit charter. So audit charter as a terminology is very important for the examinations. Normally you will get 1 or 2 questions from the audit charter. So what is the audit charter? So it states the management's responsibility and objectives and the delegation of authority to information system audit function. And it's the highest level of management who approves it. It normally is audit committee, it exists. And it is high level document. And also it defines authority, scope and responsibility of information system audit function. Very important point. And also, if information system audit is done by external firm, scope and objectives of services should be documented in formal contract or standard of work procedures between organization and service provider. So these are the things which has to be done. Now the point number 5, 6 and 7 are the things which should not be there in an audit charter, which are also very important. So audit charter should not be dynamic in nature. It means it should not be changed frequently, and it should change only when if such changes are thoroughly justified. And it should not include yearly audit calendar, audit planning, yearly resource allocation, and other routine audit activities. Professional fee payable, travel expenses, budget, or auditors, etc. are not to be included in audit charter. So we'll go ahead with a few examples of few questions, which are similar to the questions asked in ISACA examination or CISA examination. An audit charter should state management's objective for and delegation of authority to information system audit and must be option number A, approved by top management, option number B, approved by chief audit officer, option number C, approved by information system department, option number D, approved by information technology steering committee. So the correct answer for this is it is to be approved by top management, which we have already discussed. Now we'll go to the next question. So what is the primary objective of information charter is governed to? Information system function, external auditor, internal audit function, finance function. So it is internal audit function is the correct answer for this. Even the information system function is given there, but as audit charter which is under audit committee, so internal audit function reports to audit committee. So the correct answer for this is internal audit function. An audit charter is approved by board of director audit committee, board of director senior management, board of director and audit committee, senior management and audit. Very important questions. So here we may get confused because we have both audit committee as well as board of director. So option number A, board of director or audit committee is not correct, because normally in an organization sometimes both of them will approve. So the board of director or senior manager is also not correct. So option number C, board of director and audit committee is the correct answer. So option number D is senior manager is not correct. Senior, because it has to be the top level of management. So the correct answer for this is board of director and audit committee. However, if in the similar question we don't have board of director and we have only audit committee, then the audit committee will be the correct answer. So for today, we'll stop our session here, and I'll request each one of you to kindly subscribe our channel, subscribe our channel of ASBP Consulting for similar video lectures which are coming up in the near future, and very relevant for students and also the professionals who are trying to make those kind of videos. And before I log out, I'll request each one of you to like the video, put your comments down and put your any queries. We'll revert back to your any comments or queries within a reasonable time, and also request you to subscribe our channel and also share the channel with your friends and other professionals. Thank you, everyone.